help clear up the cholesterol confusion then. So explain exactly what it does and why we need it. And we're taught to think that cholesterol is the thing that's clogging those arteries up that causes the heart problems, and we need to reduce that. So how did we get to making cholesterol the bad guy, and what does it really do for us?
Well, making it the bad guy was simply a matter of, hey, we found a drug that can reduce it. Let's find a way to sell it. Let's make cholesterol a villain. And of course, God created us all. God created cholesterol too. So it's not bad. It's not evil. The fact of the matter is it's very protective. It's one of those mechanisms that should you have arterial inflammation of any kind, venous as well, but you talk about circulatory inflammation, then the cholesterol will come in to help patch and repair. It starts a process of healing. Now, if you are unaware of the process of inflammation and what really causes it, you'll continue to live a lifestyle that will precipitate this inflammation long term, which will precipitate continual patching and repairing. And so they come in at the end stage and say, oh my gosh, look at those arteries, they're so clogged up. Oh, what is it? Oh, there's some cholesterol there. Oh, it must be the cause. Never realizing that the cholesterol saved your life. In fact, you wouldn't be alive today if you hadn't had that patching and repairing occur. You would have an unannounced, if you will, internal bleed, a rupture, a breach of an artery or a vein, something that you would not have a sensation for, and you would die maybe even in your sleep. So the reality is the cholesterol is so vitally necessary to keep us alive in the case of inflammation that is occurring within the arterial system. Now, when they talk about inflammation or end-stage issues, you'll also hear about calcification, coronary calcification. They didn't say cholesterolification, they said calcification. So what is this, calcium deposits on the arteries? What is that? And so they continue to persist, the medical doctors, to tell women, particularly of age, to say, hey, keep taking that calcium, lots of calcium. They're still pushing chalk, calcium carbonate in a lot of cases. Now, some have woken up to see different forms of calcium, but calcium is a macro mineral. It's very easy to get in the diet and through supplementation. They ignore the fundamental, let's say, micro minerals that are very critical in keeping the health of the coronary system going. And that, of course, includes magnesium and other things. The same things that work with the skeletal system, believe it or not, will work for the coronary system. Now, one of the most important trace elements for the vascular system as well as all connective tissue is, in fact, silicon or silica. Now, a lot of people take horsetail extract when they become aware of it and say, hey, I want strong skin and hair and nails, not realizing how deeply important silica is for the entire connective tissue of the body and the nervous system. And this is interesting because with the cholesterol, if you lower cholesterol, you are going to harm your nerves, your brain, because it needs this cholesterol, this fat layer, the myelin sheath, the insulation of the nerve in order to function properly. Again, this is where we see cholesterol-lowering drug inducing Alzheimer's disease. So that's why I say, again, if you want Alzheimer's, let's say, take lots of flu shots and take lots of cholesterol-lowering medications. You will guarantee a future that you won't remember anything.
So getting our cholesterol tested is one of the most common tests at the doctor's office. Does that mean anything? Do those numbers mean anything? Do we need to know any certain number there?
To me as a homeopath, not really. I mean, it would indicate if there is something abnormally high or low. Let's just say you were tracking it for years just to see a baseline in you. If it went to an extreme, it would tell me more about the health of your liver or the lack of the health of your liver than anything else it would tell me. It wouldn't say you're definitely going to have a heart attack. It would say, hey, there's something going wrong because cholesterol is produced primarily in the liver. In fact, dietary cholesterol impacts cholesterol levels only minimally. There is some level of a feedback loop, but let's say you eat lots of eggs, with lots of yolk and lots of cholesterol. It's not going to give you a heart attack. It's very good for you. But the reality is if you want to, let's say it's hypercholesterolemia, that's an issue when it's extremely high. That tells me your liver is dysfunctioning. We need to look at that, not at the end stage potential of heart disease, because there are a lot of other problems that can get you before that happens.